Hello and welcome back to WhiteLinesFootball and welcome back to the latest WhiteLinesFootball podcast. We're back for the new season. I'm joined by Jack.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Lewis. Forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lewis. Joined by Jack. Today, obviously the Premier League season kicks off this weekend, Jack.
It does, Saturday. Or Friday night, sorry.
And obviously, last year, we did a Premier League predictions on the channel. We're going to do it again this year. We're going to do a little bit of a preview, look at each team. We've done our sort of table prediction, and we're also going to look a little bit at the transfers, etc. of each club. We've both done our own tables. We haven't spoke to each other about them, so we're going to compare. You got your table there?
I've got my table here.
So we'll start with the relegation zone.
We're going to start there?
We'll start backwards.
Okay.
Build up the excitement.
Okay, cool.
So who have you got to finish?
20th.
Rock bottom.
20th and finishing rock bottom. I've gone with Cardiff City this year.
Yeah.
I've gone with Cardiff because I've no really massive signings I can see really. No really and I know I think they are going to struggle this year. I think obviously maybe Bobby Reid from Bristol City will he do as well in the Premier League? You're not sure. Alex Smithy's obviously goalie, isn't he?
He's a good goalkeeper. He's done really well at QPR.
Yeah, but I don't feel as though
I think if you look at Cardiff's raw squad, then their raw squad is really poor. Neil Warnock's in charge. He's done well, but you look at the Cardiff squad and you look at sort of the way they're playing, I think they are tipped by a lot of people to go down. Yeah. Do you want to just wrap up your whole relegation zone so then we can see who we've got in the relegation zone?
So also in my relegation zone, so in 19th, I've gone with Huddersfield. Yeah. I feel as though they've struggled again this year.
Well, I've gone with Huddersfield 20th and Cardiff 19th.
Oh.
So I think Huddersfield started really well last year and they really slipped. Yeah. And I think they just ran out of games to go down.
Yeah. I think they started well, but the season ended at the right time for them.
And they just got hammered by so many teams.
And I don't think, obviously, Mooney, I don't feel as though that's going to be enough for it to stay up. I think, they had a decent start, and without that, they would have really struggled.
I've also lost Tom Ince. He's gone down to Stoke City. He had a poor start. In terms of who they've bought in, they've got Ramadan Sodhi from Stoke, Eric Durm from Borussia Dortmund. That's not a bad signing, but I think they need to strengthen a lot of positions. I don't know if they've done that. I think David Wagner's a good manager, but obviously they ran out of time to go down last year, and I think this year it's just the sort of year where they're just going to go down.
Yeah, I think, no.
I think a lot of people have got Cardiff and Huddersfield bottom two, and obviously we're just in different orders.
Yeah.
So the big one in 18th, who's your third relegation?
Well, I was torn between a lot of clubs here, and I sort of looked at the pros and cons for each one. I was torn between 3 or 4 different clubs. I'm unsure still about it, but based on the fact that obviously I don't know, maybe a few decent signings in, I don't know if they'll score the goals and if they'll be good enough for Premier League. I have gone with Fulham.
Fulham!
I've gone with Fulham to finish 18th this year.
How bold.
I think, I know, I've gone with, obviously Sessegnon, obviously good player, but from some games I saw last season, obviously I signed Schürrle, obviously they had Mitrovic. I don't know if Mitrovic will score the goals that he did in the Championship. I don't know if he'll score the same amount of goals in the Premier League. Obviously,
they spent some money. They got Alfie Mawson from Swansea.
And that's a good defence. That's a good sort of signing, and for that sort of place. But I don't know. I just feel as though Mitrovic, I think he needs to score because he got a lot of goals there.
A lot of pressure on Mitrovic, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if he'll perform. And obviously, if he doesn't perform, then they're a bit stuck. I think Mawson's a good signing for there, but I don't think the goals are going to come. I'm afraid.
I think they've got a good structure. They've got good management. Obviously, it's a big test for Fulham. You're not really sure what to expect.
Yeah.
They're a very much different side compared to the last team that was in the Premier League. Obviously, run a very different way in the management. I'll talk a little bit more about them when I come to them.
You've forgotten to finish top 10.
You'll see.
Oh.
But my 18th place is Watford. I was torn between a couple of teams like yourself. Obviously, you can talk about them quite a lot. It's an absolute circus at Watford, isn't it, really? A change in management all the time. Marco Silva was sacked not that long ago. Javi Gracia there at the minute. Will he be there at the end of the season? Who knows? Yeah, in terms of who they've sold, obviously Richarlison's gone. He was a big part of their team last year. It did sort of die out a little bit, but they've got 35 million for Richarlison. I think they probably need to go and spend that. They've bought in Gerard Deulofeu, who's probably going to be, you say, a direct replacement. Obviously, he's been there before. 11.5 million from Barcelona, but he's obviously never reached his potential fully. They've got a new goalkeeper in Ben Foster, is a good goalkeeper, but I think overall, I think they had the likes of Jack Rodwell on loan, and you look at the other teams strengthening, and Watford never been a great side since they've come back up. I think they were going somewhere under Marco Silva, but obviously he went, and I think it's just a bit of a circus there, and I think they're going to go down in 18th place. They obviously struggled last year as well, and this year is going to be their year to go down, I think. So we've got our bottom threes each. I went with Huddersfield 20th, Cardiff 19th, Watford 18th, and you went with Cardiff 20th.
Huddersfield 19th, Fulham 18th.
Bold move. So should we go with... We'll go 11th to 11th to 17th.
Yeah, go on.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Should I do all of them, or should I do one place at a time? I'll do all of them. I'll do 15th to 17th first. So 17th place, I've got Brighton. Obviously, surprised a lot of people in staying up last year under Chris Hughton. I think Brighton will stay up again. They're a good side. They're a well-organised side. The sort of players they've brought in, like Bernardo and a lot of foreign players. In terms of who they've lost, not really too many people to note, really, is there? It's a bit of dead wood going out. But I think they're a solid defensive side. I think they're doing enough to stay up. They're not as strong as other sides.
Yeah, they're good at home. I think they've got to make their home a bit of a fortress, haven't they, this season again?
Yeah, and
so I don't think they lost many games at all last year at home, did they?
I think they're well oiled defensively.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Maybe could score a few more goals, but they'll be hoping for that. I think they will stay up. 16th place, I've got Crystal Palace. So, obviously, they're under good old Roy Hodgson at the minute. Not really lost any players, not really brought in many players. I think the players to note that they've brought in is Chik Kouyaté and Max Meyer. Kouyaté is probably going to slot into that midfield next to Milivojevic. Obviously had a good World Cup, and Max Meyer as well, who signed from Schalke. Didn't do too well last year in the Bundesliga. He's been very much hyped up. I don't think he's the attacking midfielder a lot of Crystal Palace fans are saying that he's going to be. I think he plays a bit deeper. That's his favoured role. He didn't get any goals or assists last year. So Crystal Palace will be hoping, but I think they've got a very raw 11. They haven't got very good squad depth.
No.
But I think they'll do enough to stay up. Roy Hodgson's done a job there.
I think he's done well.
But
because Zaha,
Zaha's still there. At the end of the day, they're going to have to move on from Roy Hodgson. I think Frank de Boer, I know he was in before Roy Hodgson, but I think he could have been the man to take on forward, but he was sacked after just a few games.
Lost his first 5, didn't he?
Yeah, without scoring.
Yeah.
And then 15th, sadly, because I do like them, I've gone with Newcastle. I think the main thing of Newcastle pre-season is Rafa Benitez in the press talking about how he doesn't know how it's going to go, how the fans should be worried because he's not getting back in. They've not really lost anyone, like Jack Colback, Chancellor and Bemba. It's not too much of a loss. They've brought in Kennedy on loan. That's a good signing. Obviously, he was there last year. Ki Sung-young from Swansea and Dubravka. They've got the goalkeeper permanently now. But he's a good goalkeeper and they've got a good core. Like John Joe Shelby. Rondon's gone there as well now. He's gone on loan from West Brom. Rafa's worried. He's obviously not got the backing. And Newcastle are a circus. We know that. They're never going to live up to their potential. But I think they'll do enough to stay up. They play decent stuff at times and they've got good individuals as well.
Shelby's a good player there.
Shelby is. Probably should have gone to the World Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he should know as well, yeah.
Who have you got 17th to 15th?
So 17th, I have gone with Wolves. It's just about to stay up to... I think obviously they kind of walked to the league, didn't they, last year in the Championship. They sort of did quite well. I think maybe it might prove to be a bit of a step up maybe this year to the Premier League. But I think they will just about cope. And Coutinho, obviously he was linked with Spurs once. He's a good midfielder.
He was linked with Spurs once.
he'll keep the ball well. People he was suggested to do better. 5 million shocks me. But
do you not think obviously they've raided Portugal? Do you not think Roy Patricio in goal and they've also got Neves at their core? Yeah. Do you not think they'll do a bit better than 17th? Why have gone so low? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I don't know. I think they might. I can see him sort of being a bit now at their depth. It's sort of No, I don't think they'll do brilliant. And you don't want them to be in a team of individuals.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think I'm obviously good signing for the goalkeeper, but I think I'm not really sure in terms of like how big. Obviously, they've made a few good signings, but obviously, and the centre midfielder, what's his name?
Ruben Neves.
Yeah, Ruben Neves. Like, obviously, he was linked with Liverpool, wasn't he? For like,
was,
a lot of money. So, they might to keep hold of him. Seems to have a strong midfield. I think they'll be safe.
He signed a new deal there, Neves, as well. So
yeah, but then again, like, I feel as though I think. Like, obviously, my 17th to 14th or to 13th, I reckon could go any order. I don't really think it. I think it's gonna be close. I think even like Fulham, like I think they would. I do still think it will go to the last day or like last few days, and I think they'll all sort of be within like a few points. I don't really think but I just feel as though, I don't know. I just feel as though Wolves will do slightly worse, but it could do. I could be wrong completely because like. I think it will be very close.
Yeah, it normally is in those positions, isn't it?
And obviously, I don't know how they do against. Obviously, when like the big teams come, you want to pick up a few points. I don't really know like how big Wolves is like in terms of like compared to like their stadium size, like fans getting behind them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think like I can't see them getting too much. I can't see them getting too much away from home this season. I think they're going to make their home ground quite a big game, big grounds this year. And then moving on in 16th, I've gone with the Saints, the Southampton. I think I've gone with them. Obviously, I think Mark Hughes has done a good job there. They haven't really brought too much in. Nothing really eye-catching. But obviously, a few individuals such as they spent a lot of money.
I think Stuart Armstrong's a good signing.
Yeah, obviously 7 million, and obviously
Angus Gunn as well. I think he's probably going to play.
13.5 is a lot of money.
He's going to play.
Yeah,
he was in the England squad, wasn't he?
Okay.
Recently,
yeah.
He's probably going to walk straight in because I think Southampton.
Yeah.
Although McCarthy signed a new deal, Fraser Forster's probably going to be on his way out.
Yeah, that's true. I think McCarthy's a bit unlucky because obviously having just spent money on a goalie, he won't be playing McCarthy. But I think he was a bit unlucky because I think he ended the season quite well, wasn't he, in goal for Southampton?
Yeah. Big thing though, losing Tadic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're going to say. I was a big fan of Tadic. It's sad to see him go. I think I'm a bit unsure about Sofiane Boufal as well because what I saw of him, obviously I went last year again when they beat Everton, and he looked quite lively. I saw him on TV, and I feel as though he'd be good against the weak legs. So I'm a bit surprised that he's gone out on loan.
I think
obviously
Correa
he was
as well.
Yeah, and
he's
him as well. They only got him in January, and they paid a lot of money for him. They paid a lot of money for him as well.
I suppose it's different management, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Different things.
But I think the main bit is the manager, and I think Mark Hughes. Obviously, he isn't like favoured, but I think he'll do. Isn't like a favourite around sort of.
He did well
fans.
For periods at Stoke.
Yeah.
But in the end, like at QPR, it did come crashing down.
Yeah.
And I think his style of football, he wants to play it properly, hasn't necessarily always gone about it in the right way. But he obviously did well last year, and
he did, yeah.
See how he does this year.
I think obviously, like I say, like I still think we're very close down now. I still don't think they'll be much more than 3 points away from relegation zone. But I think Mark Hughes is the man for the job really down there to keep his players motivated, keep them believing they can stay up, go into every game knowing that they need a point from it or a win. And I think they need to have they need to be good at home as well next season because I can't see them picking up too much away from home.
Yeah,
same as last season really.
Well, I'm sure you'll be paying a couple of visits, obviously.
Oh, I do hope so.
To and fro Southampton quite a lot.
Yeah, to and fro Southampton. Hopefully I'll be there a few times next seaon. It'll be quite good to see.
So 15th for you.
15th, I've gone with Watford.
Yeah.
I think obviously I obviously understand what you mean. Like their time's going to come eventually, but they seem to pick up points when you don't really expect it. Like obviously I think they seem to. I think at home they struggle a bit. Like I think first game of the season at home to Brighton, like a game where you think they'd get something from, but I could see them easily losing that.
Gillingham.
They're very exactly. Yeah, they're very unpredictable, Watford.
They are.
But I think they will pick a few points from places that you don't expect. I think they will just about be all right as well because they've sort of established themselves, isn't they, as a bit of a lower mid-table team, haven't they, in the Premier League lately? But I guess you can sort of argue the manager, most of the reason why they're sort of there is because they have stability in the club, in the management. So obviously this year, with a new manager, it's going to be quite different. But I think they'll have enough to stay up again this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, In 14th, I've gone with Bournemouth. I think they're having an absolute mare in the transfer market yet again under Eddie Howe. I think he needs a lot of guidance. Diego Rico's coming up for 10 million. Benik Afobe's gone out for 10 million. Obviously, they're in talks at the minute to bring Jefferson Lerma, for a club record 17 million, I believe it is. Bailey Cargill's left, which is a massive loss. No, I'm joking. Joe Quigley.
That's a loss as well.
I just think they're having a bit of a mare in the transfer window, but I think they're always going to establish themselves at home. They're a good side to watch. They're good on the ball, but defensively they're a bit atrocious, and it looks like that's going to carry on this year. Eddie Howe needs a bit of guidance, I think, and it's not there. But I think they're too good to go down. They'll get a few results. They'll go on runs where they lose 5 in a row, but I think they're good enough to stay up.
Yeah,
have you got Bournemouth in a similar position?
I've got them in 14th as well.
Yeah,
I also got them in 14th.
I think one we've agreed with.
Yeah, first one. Well, apart from bottom 2, near enough.
Yeah.
They've sort of a bit worried about where your Fulham is, really, because I've got them to go down.
And the Wolves.
And the Wolves, yeah, and Southampton actually, and Southampton. But basically same as what you said, Lewis. I think obviously they haven't really lost too much threatening players. Really, seems to be going into with the same squad again next year. Yeah, like obviously I do feel as though the defence. I think there's every year like Adam Smith, Simon Francis. Like they do sort of. Really, I think that one day they need to be sort of looked at and improved on. But I think they'll battle hard enough at home. I think they'll pick up some points away from home as well, and they'll put the performances in. Because they've got the pace up top as well, and they've got some sort of like lively players there as well.
Yeah, Callum Wilson, Josh King.
Yeah, that will cause to Stanislas.
Yeah,
Junior
Stanislas. I just think they're a bit of a disaster at the back, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like you'll see him go to the Etihad and get slapped for 6 or something like that. But
but
they do play nice stuff going forward.
Yeah, no, I think obviously I think they'll try and like play to outscore their opponents this season. Rather than because I think they know that there's a good chance they can concede 3 against any team this year, apart from maybe Cardiff. But I think they will be alright this year. I think it will be the same sort of season again. Eddie Howe's done a good job.
In 13th, I've gone with Burnley.
Burnley in 13th.
Burnley, I think the main thing is if they get through to the Europa League, I think they're going to obviously be playing that and that ruins teams. You've seen that so many times.
Yeah,
seen the Europa League ruin teams, and they're not going to go and win it like you'd expect a few other teams to. Like when Chelsea or Arsenal in the Europa League, you think they could win it. Burnley aren't going to go and win the Europa League. They've brought in some very Burnley signings. Ben Gibson's come in. I'm a big fan of Ben Gibson. I think hopefully he can push towards the England setup now.
15 million.
Obviously he's got the likes of James Tarkowski and Ben Mee to contend with, and then he's got Joe Hart behind him, who's joined today. He's gonna. I think it's a weird signing, that one, because he's not better than Tom Heaton or Nick Pope.
No,
but I think he's gonna. I think while they're both injured, he probably wants one last hurrah in the England squad.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think at the minute, if you look at the England squad and Southgate's picking the England squad, he's going to go with Pickford and Butland, who's the third goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? Probably Joe Hart at the minute, isn't it? So, we'll see which way that goes. But I think Burnley as well. Obviously, Sam Clucas had a deal for him that's like scrambled at the last minute. That's a very Burnley signing as well. I think up top they've got the likes of Sam Vokes, Ashley Barnes, Chris Wood. I like Chris Wood. Not sure about the other two. It's a very sort of 4-4-2 formation. Defend and well on 2 blocks of 4.
You got to hope that Vokes and Barnes aren't the best players, and you got to hope they sort of score the same sort of goals. I can't see them repeating it again this year.
Obviously, coming 7th last year. I think Burnley could be in danger of going down. I think their squad's just a little bit too good not to. A little bit too good to. Sorry. But I think if they were playing in Europe, if they do get through this next round, then they will struggle, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the bottom.
Yeah, no.
Who have you got? 13th?
I've gone with Brighton 13th.
Yeah.
I think obviously I think Chris Hughton's done a very good job there. I think obviously again haven't really made amazing signings, haven't really lost anyone brilliant either. They're sort of I think they're just going into it again with the same sort of players. They haven't really lost a lot of big players. No. Just reading here, obviously Jamie Murphy gone to Rangers. Yeah, undisclosed. And the players that they've lost haven't really gone to any good teams. But you suggest that they're not really big players. And they've brought in a few players that obviously they paid $9 million for Bernardo. They seem to have kept their squad the same sort of size, and they see it by obviously getting in players that are going to contend with being in the Premier League. I think obviously they're good at home, and I think they need to be home. They need to be good at home again this season. But I can see a sort of 13th place, and I think most Brighton fans would probably take that at the moment.
I think if you're a Brighton fan, you'll probably take
17th every year. I think,
Yeah.
Like obviously going to have to make their home ground good ground. And I can't see the likes of any team below them, like I've predicted. I can't see Southampton going there and winning, or maybe even getting a point. I think they could easily beat Wolves, Fulham, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Watford at home this season. And I think that's already halfway towards safety. And I think I do think they'll be safe this year. I think they'll be alright again.
So who completes your bottom half? Who have you got in 12th and 11th?
12th and 11th. I've got in 12th. I've gone with Burnley.
Yeah.
Same as you already. Same sort of reasons. Yeah, I think they're too good, not to go down. I think they'll get the extra points the other teams might not necessarily get. I think they'll be a very difficult team to break down with Ben Gibson now there, and some good defenders there, and they defend well. And I think again that'll be difficult to break down. I think they could. They're the same sort of team like Watford. But unpredicted. In terms of their results, sometimes they could go and get 3 points somewhere you won't really expect.
What do you think of terms of expectations of Burnley? Because obviously they're in Europe now, they're going to want to push on. But do you think
they are.
A lot of people are predicting they're going to struggle? But what do you think their own fans are predicting? Because they're going to want and.
Obviously they're going to want to do well in Europe because arguably probably won't see it again. And I think I think they know. I think I'd say the fans know, they're not going to go down, and they're not going to, and the same thing's going to happen again. A bit like Leicester when they won the league. I don't think they were too expecting it. But it's Leicester fans that's going to happen again. Yeah. I think Burnley have kind of accepted again that they won't go down and the season won't happen again. So I think they're just going to realise that maybe 14th, 13th will sort of do them, and then enjoy the Europa League, because I think they are good enough to maybe not go very far in Europa League.
Maybe get out of the group.
Maybe get out of the group. But I think they'll definitely be good enough to stay in the league and a solid mid-table with knowing they're safe with 5 games to go. I think that will be a Burnley season this year, and I think the fans will be happy with that.
I think it's funny that they waited 50 odd years for a European campaign, and the first game they get is Aberdeen.
Yeah.
So the first game is Scotland.
It doesn't really shout Europa League to you, does it? Really?
No, but I think they just want to travel Europe, really, don't they?
Yeah, no. It's obviously something. It's brilliant, for the club, obviously. But obviously, I think clubs with a size like that, I think it's only really can happen one season, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think fans are going to realise that. So obviously, I think it'd be good to be a Burnley fan right now. Obviously, seeing all these big clubs in the Europa League, and obviously be feared by other clubs as well. So I think about just below mid-table.
I think a big thing as well, they really picked up their away form last year. I think the year before it was awful.
Yeah, I think obviously they're a difficult team to break down. I think if they score the first goal, I think they're very likely not to win, not to lose the game, definitely.
Yeah.
I think so, I think the first goal is a big thing for them next year as well.
How about... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, just basically...
That's it.
Yeah.
How about 11th then?
11th, I've gone with Palace here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zaha's getting a good season again. I think defensively, I think he's done well when he was at Palace last year. I think obviously he's not the most technically good footballing centre half, but I think he did well. I thought he did well at Palace last year. I think obviously if they get the Jules Thomas Holy, in terms of goalkeeper, because they haven't really got a stable goalkeeper. But I think obviously and up front Benteke is a bit hit and miss sometimes. But I do feel as though because Andrews Townsend's on his way out, isn't he? Apparently Newcastle. But I've always liked him, so I'm a bit surprised about why they want him. Maybe not wanting to get rid of him, but why they might let him go for not cheap, but
just let him go in general.
Yeah, I just sort of think but yeah, Hodgson's a good manager. I think they're good at home. I think it's the small grounds, very well supported, very good atmosphere for them, and I think it's going to be difficult grounds again for teams to go there and win at. I think again home form they're going to be good this year. I can't see many teams below them.
Aiming to go there, aren't we?
Sort of. Yeah, we will. Yeah, no, we'll go there next year. We'll go to we'll do a London game.
Yeah,
it'll be good. I think Palace. Yeah, I think they'll do alright again next year. I think I think away from home maybe. I think teams even though they'll probably finish out, even though I think they'll finish out mid-table, I think teams like Cardiff, Huddersfield, and teams down there, Watford, arguably, Southampton, Wolves, Fulham. I think they will all sort of say they got Palace at home at the weekend and sort of still sort of feel as though if you want to start their sort of games, you want to be winning. But I don't think they'll feel the same about when they go there. I think they'll struggle a lot. So and that sort of makes me sort of put them in about mid-table, and I think all the fans will take that. I think I can see. Obviously, I think they'll be safe. Like mid-table, maybe might suggest a bit of a cut run for them maybe this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they can draw some not like a horrible team like in the first few rounds.
I
I can
a
see them
few years
focusing
ago,
on a bit of a cut
FA Cup
run.
final.
Yeah.
Alright, so to finish my top 10, I've got Southampton in 12th. Sorry?
Bottom 10.
Bottom 10, you're right.
Yes.
I've got Southampton in 12.
Yeah, good.
I think Mark Hughes, now he's settled in, he might go on one of those little runs he goes on where he gets top half finish, something like that. I don't think they'll be down there, they're a good side, and at the end of the day, Mark Hughes might not be the best manager, they've got stability. I think you covered them quite well earlier. And then 11th, I've got Fulham. You've obviously got them to go down. I think Fulham are a good side. I wouldn't be surprised to see them hit top 10. They've got good management. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to even try it. But I think they had a good raw 11. They've brought in the likes of Andre Schürrle, who's probably going to play on one flank, Ryan Sessegnon on the other one. They've got Mitrovic up front, so that's going to be a decent front three at this level, I think. Obviously got the likes of Alfie Mawson.
Schürrle's very good signing, yeah.
The likes of Alfie Mawson. I think they were unlucky to lose Ryan Fredericks to West Ham, but Alfie Mawson's a good signing coming in from Swansea. He's going to play at centre back. And the main player for me is Jean-Michel Seri. He was linked with Barcelona, he was linked with Arsenal. I don't know how Fulham have picked him up, but they have. And I think he's a very good player in that midfield. And Fulham are going to play nice football. I'm very shocked you've got them to.
I think a reason why I think I've got them sort of to go down is because I don't know, like it is Sessegnon, isn't it? Like obviously, like
he's their main player.
Yeah, and like by Mitrovic, like will he score in the Premier League? Newcastle let him go to Championship and he got loads of goals. Will he do it?
Probably
in the Premier League?
if you're looking past Mitrovic, then you're looking at Sessegnon who's 18. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking as well. Like obviously, if he has a good start of the season, will he leave in January? They might leave in the second half of the season. Say he leaves in January because he has a good and he proves himself in the Premier League. Then obviously, say someone go and spend like 60 million. Yeah, say Ryan Sessegnon had the Championship season he had last year. If he goes and has a really good first half of the season, they will struggle to keep him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's probably my main reason for him really going down, because I think it's all a matter of what he does. I think they'll have a good first half. I think they'll start well, but even so, like they went to Derby last year in the playoff, semi-final, and Derby were a much better team, and like you think they looked a lot better than Fulham did that day, and that's even with Sessegnon, and that's even in Championship, and I remember seeing on telly a few times, they didn't struggle, but they did look a bit like leaking defensively, and like Sessegnon, as good as he's at 18 sort of thing. Like maybe if he does switch off for like certain minutes in the game, then it's going to punish him. So like that's sort of why I've got him down there. Really, I think obviously they don't want to. Obviously, I don't want them. They don't want to be too reliant on him. They don't want to be too reliant on Mitrovic. But I think that's the only way they're going to.
They are a side that on their day they're going to be excellent, but they don't want to fall into a trap where they're going to struggle. So should we wrap up our bottom halves, number by number? So my bottom half: 11th Fulham, 12th Southampton, 13th Burnley, 14th Bournemouth, 15th Newcastle, 16th Palace, 17th Brighton, 18th Watford, 19th Cardiff, 20th Huddersfield.
And I've got 11th Palace, 12th Burnley, Brighton 13th, 14th Bournemouth, 15th Watford, 16th Southampton, 17th Wolves, 18th Fulham. Oh, debatable. Lewis, stop giving me that look. 19th Huddersfield and 20th Cardiff.
Okay, so we're going to the top 10.
Going to go 10 first or first to 10?
10 first.
Alright, 10 first, cool.
Who have you got 10th?
At 10th, I've got Newcastle at 10th.
Yeah.
I think you still got Ulster coming, yeah.
I've still got Ulster.
I've got them struggling.
Going to
Newcastle. So I think
I've got Newcastle 15th.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I think I'll have a solid season. I think obviously Benitez is not most backed manager. I don't know why, because I don't know what they think they're going to get there really.
It's because Mike Ashley is an absolute knob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike Ashley obviously wants to sell the club, so he probably doesn't want to invest money in, but it's still really unfair. Like they've got the best manager they're going to have for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
like a long time.
So and that's and with Shelby, obviously they finished about 12th in last season, 13th. And I enjoyed watching them play last year. I thought they were a good team. I thought obviously normally you look at like a mid-table clash and you sort of think, oh, like, you know, like, oh, and like Burnley, Brighton or whatever, and you've been like, oh. But like I think when I saw Newcastle I used to think that, but I saw towards the end of the season I thought they played some good football.
Yeah.
I thought they were a good team last year, and I think they'll be a good team again this year. I think they'll go a little bit further this year.
Benitez has sorted out the defence. I think a big thing is if they can keep Jamal Lascelles.
Definitely, yeah, no, pretty good
do you know what I can see happening on the final day? It's just like, oh, Lascelles has joined Everton or something like that, and then Newcastle out rushing around for a centre back, and it's like, oh, this person been rejected. Oh, Robert Hoofer signs on a free transfer until the end of the season. Something like that. That's what I saw on Twitter.
Okay.
But they got to keep hold of Lascelles, I think.
Yeah,
they got a good spy.
No, he's a good player.
Yeah, in 10th. Oh, excuse me. I've gone with Leicester. Claude Puel started well there. There was a lot of talk of him getting the axe, but he got his back in. They've invested really well, actually. Like Ricardo Pereira, Danny Ward. I don't know if he's going to go and start. I was a big fan of him when he was at Liverpool. I don't know if he's going to go and start at Leicester, but if Schmeichel's off, then he will. Johnny Evans, 3.5 million. That's an absolute steal from West Brom. He's going to partner Harry Maguire, I think, keep hold of him, and James Maddison as well. He's going to be playing for England soon, I think. It's very good. They've obviously lost Riyad Mahrez for 60 million. It's a lot of money. But,
big,
you know...
Yeah, sort of a big gap to fill, isn't it, really?
It is a big gap to fill, but I think they've got the likes of Maddison, Vardy, Gray, people like that.
Yeah, Gray's looking... I thought he looks quite sharp when he plays, yeah.
They have a good side.
I don't know if he's a starter, but I think obviously...
Yeah. Apart from Mahrez, they've not lost anyone.
No.
And I think they did well last year. I think they could mount another title chop. No, I'm joking. If Puel does get backed, I think he's a decent enough manager. I could see a top 10 finish for Leicester. I think they're a good side. Have you got Leicester 9th?
I've got Leicester 9th, yeah.
You have?
Same reasons, yeah. I think obviously, again, sort of his strongest side. I think they've sort of grown to be they've established themselves as a bit of a mid-table team in the Premier League now. I think going to be there for quite a few seasons running. I think they've seem to have good like sort of finances at the club, especially with Mahrez going. They seem to always like bring players in like with sort of money. They seem to like, after obviously winning the league as well, I think they're going to be stable for a good few seasons. They seem to have a quite good little atmosphere there, and I think the fans are pleased to watch them every week. Finish back mid-table, and like, happily see like the big teams come to their ground. And I think that's another team I think who might go on a bit of a cut run this year. I think it goes in their favour. I think obviously I don't know, like, obviously, because I think they're a bit of a team where they could play anyone in the Premier League, and I think they could easily like struggle. I don't think they're definitely ever going to be like, even like Cardiff, say home to Cardiff in like a cup or even in the league. I don't think that's like a certain win, but I think they're definitely picking enough points to like pick up enough points throughout the season.
Not be in danger.
Yeah, not be in danger. Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Well, one team I don't think could be in danger is Wolves. I've got them 9th.
Oh, you've got 9th.
I think they're just going to carry on their play. To be fair, the management there, the good players they've got. They've brought in the enforcements they needed. Willy Bolly, Roy Patricio's a brilliant signing in net. João Martino's a good signing. They've got Neves, etc. I just think they're a bloody good team.
Good.
So I've got them 9th.
I've got them 17th.
And they're not going to come 17th. Let's move into top 8. So this is where you're sort of looking at people.
Yeah. I think we've basically got the same teams, haven't we? Top 8.
It is the same teams.
Yeah, we've got the same teams, yeah.
So who have you got 8th? I reckon I know you've got 8th. I reckon you've got Everton 8th.
I have got Everton 8th. I reckon you got Everton 8th.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, I thought you've got Arsenal 8th.
I've got West Ham 8th.
You've got West Ham 8th, but then you've got Everton 7th.
I've got Everton 7th.
Yeah, I've got West Ham 7th.
Alright.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Who should we start with then? Should we start with West Ham?
Yeah, go on, West Ham. So I think, obviously, maybe there is a bit of pressure this season. Like, obviously, bringing a lot of players. Yeah, Fabianski
bringing in Pellegrini, the management, like
and the money they spent,
like they can't mess around anymore. Do you know what I mean? Felipe Henderson.
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere's there now as well.
Yeah.
Fredericks, they've finally got right back Fabianski in goal. I think they've sorted out their problems, the right back problems, the goalkeeper problems they've had. Pellegrini's there, he's proven. They've chucked money at it, and I think
definitely
they've got luck to find. Arnautovic going to play up front, and they've really got a this is the year.
I think it'll be a good year to be paid.
They cannot afford
West
to
Ham
come
next year, won't it?
To come 14th. They can't afford that.
I think it'll be a good time to be a West Ham fan. I think next year. I think they've got a lot to look forward to. I think obviously the only issue is maybe that, like, you know, it's all good bringing big individuals in, but can they work together? I think they're Liverpool first game, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I think that's going to be a tough game for them.
If they can get a result there,
definitely. I think they definitely don't want to go into that game like they don't want to like lose it by away like 3 goals or more. I think they want to, like, you know, I think obviously getting the result from that will give them huge confidence for the rest of the season. But I do think as though I feel as though that I think there's a lot of expectation on next season.
Yeah,
I don't really and obviously the fans of West Ham ain't the best really. They could be a bit impatient.
Yeah.
I think
still at the new stadium.
Yeah. I think
I think it's tough for him. Yeah, you know, they want to move forward. Pellegrini's an old manager. Like, they probably want him to settle the ship for a few years and then go again.
Definitely, it is difficult for them because they need to. I think they need to pick up the points. Like the games against teams who are going to finish below them. I think they need to win sort of games at home. And I think dropping points at home to like Cardiff, for instance, I think that's going to raise a few questions.
Yeah.
But I think they've got the players and the individuals there to, like, you know, compete. But I think as long as the fans don't get too impatient, which I can't expect they will do because they're West Ham fans, you know. But I think there's lots to look forward to next year for West Ham.
Moving on to Everton then. Obviously their main change is in manager is Sam Allardyce out, Marco Silva in.
Yep.
Very different style of football.
Very different.
They signed Richarlison and Lucas Digne.
Yep.
Linked with a few more players as well. Missed out on a few as well, but Digne is probably going to play left back over Leighton Baines. You think that Richarlison's going to play the amount they paid for him?
Yeah.
He's going to play. Also, they've lost the likes of Rooney, Klassen, people like that, a little bit of dead wood, but I think they're probably still a little bit light at centre back. You know, Michael Keane, Phil Jagielka is not really ideal, but you know, they've got the likes of
losing Ashley Williams as well.
Yeah, Ashley Williams gone on loan to Stoke. But I think the likes they've got up front, you know, out wide they've got pace, and I think they're going to play nice football under Silva. It might take a while. They're probably still going to make a few more signings yet, but they're a good side. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think a big benefit will be is Coleman being fit this season. Last season he was injured for a lot of it, and he's a good right back. Yeah. I think he showed his class as well. He showed how much they missed him as well towards the end of the season when he was playing. Obviously, having him fit again is a good asset. Is like quite invaluable for him this season. I think obviously the signings of Richarlison, this sort of player they want. Like, obviously, I don't know whether you can like have him and Sigurdsson in the same sort of team. Quite similar players, similar positions. Obviously, both going to want the ball at their feet. Both going to like make things happen. But they're quite similar players. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll work together well.
I think sometimes I have to adapt the whole team around Sigurdsson a bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't have to do that this year.
No, obviously, you know, I think they'll have a good season. Yeah, like obviously, like up front, like obviously St. Arsenal is a bit of a weak link, I think, and obviously at front as well, like Nias, like I don't really rate him massively, to be honest. I don't really think he's like, you know, like a top 7 sort of striker. He could go and prove me wrong next season, probably going to score 3 hat-tricks in the first 3 games. But like Tosin, like, obviously, like he seems a bit of a threat in front of goal, but like obviously, like is he doing enough rounds, like, you know, apart from just in front of goal. Obviously goals do win games, but you might want a bit more than a striker if you're going to want to finish or challenge Europe this season. So maybe like they're a bit light in places, but I think overall I think they've got a good squad and they've got some good players there, and I think they will have a good season again this year, especially under a good manager as well, Marco Silva.
Hopefully they can move forward under him. So we'll move on to the top 6. We've still got the same teams, but what order are they in? Who have you got missing out on the Champions League?
Chelsea and Arsenal.
In that order? Chelsea
6th, Arsenal 5th. Okay. I think obviously Chelsea, I don't know, I don't really know, because obviously he wants to go forward at the back. In the Community Shield, they were shocking, I thought, against Man City.
Awful.
I think if that's what they're going to do this year. I've got...
bought in Robert Green, it's a good signing, I think. I think he's going to...
He's going to play a lot of games this year. Maybe he is, because Courtois like,
Courtois on his way out.
Yeah,
I think
surely
Chelsea...
he's going to be the main goalie then. Surely he'll do it. Yeah, like,
I think Chelsea are targeting Jack Butland.
Are they? Yeah.
But he had a mare against Leeds. Did you see his second goal?
No,
went through his arms.
No.
Jorginho's gone in.
Yeah,
obviously, he's going to take some time to adapt.
Yeah, I don't think he looked very good the other day.
Obviously, Sarri knows him. I think the main thing with Chelsea is their system was so built to a back three. Like, obviously, you've got the right wing back, the left wing back, Alonso and Moses. Very much wing backs rather than full backs. And you've got Azpilicueta, the perfect right centre back. Now they've changed. Alonso's playing left back. Moses isn't in the team. Azpilicueta's playing right back. I think they were trying to play out from the defence. City knew what to do. Easy. Sarri's just starting that. And David Luiz, normally good at that, looks uncomfortable. Caballero, obviously, we saw that goal he gave in the World Cup trying to play it out. The goal he gave away.
Not as bad as Luiz is in the final.
Yeah. And then Rudiger as well. He was awful. He's a bit of a donkey. But... they need a striker, I think. Morata is not going to cut it.
He's not going to get the goals.
Giroud probably not going to get the goals.
I like Giroud. It's a bit of a shame, really.
World Cup winner. No goals in the tournament.
No, yeah. But I think, obviously, I don't know. I'd take him Spurs. I think behind
different option
on the bench. Yeah, behind Kane. I think he's alright. I think he's sort of. He doesn't really get. He does alright for clubs, and he's obviously World Cup didn't do very well.
Sarri obviously did really well at Napoli. He didn't win anything.
Have a shot on target, did he?
Maybe not. But yeah, I think Sarri's time methods will take some time to get into the Chelsea players. He did well at Napoli. He's got Jorginho. He's rumoured to be bringing likes of Koulibaly with him as well. But I think he needs his own players at the minute. Hazard's been seen on holiday with a massive belly.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, his attitude's a big part of next season as well. If he starts the season,
will he be the Chelsea captain?
Yeah, is he going to be that interesting next year? Because he knows that he's good enough. It's not like he's got to impress. He knows that he can have a bad season and walk into Real Madrid in the season after.
Yeah.
Because I think I can't really see him like Sanchez did when he was at Arsenal. Like Sanchez still wanted to play football, still wanted to show others how good he was, still wanted to show the fans he was a good player. I can't really see Hazard doing the same sort of thing. I don't really think his attitude is quite as hard working as Sanchez's is. I think he wants to be happy with where he is. I don't think he's very happy playing in Europa League. Plus I think I don't know if there's any more rumours about the old Willian Martial swap. Apparently both rated at 75 million.
Right. Willian's been linked with Barcelona quite a lot.
Yeah. And I like Willian, and I don't get why Conte didn't really start him last year. I thought he was a good player. Obviously linked with Barcelona. He didn't really start a lot, I don't think.
I don't think he's worth what has been rumoured. I think Chelsea turned down a 55 million. I think I can't work out who the most stupid club is. Barcelona to bid it or Chelsea to reject it.
No, I think he's a good player. I think obviously I think he'll do well in Europa League. I think that's the sort of thing that he'd like.
They could go and win it, but again,
he'd strike really do well in
Europa League. Will it hinder them?
Yeah, I mean
unless they go and win it.
Yeah, obviously, and look at Fabregas as well, and Kante's there, obviously very good player. Fabregas obviously. Getting a bit older now, isn't really getting as much game time. Really, drink water.
He's
what
a guy!
He's not really the best of players. And Bakayoko speaking of good players.
I think Sarri has a lot of changing to do.
Yeah, I think he's got to look at it a lot. I guess one good thing is that Hudson-Odoi. I think he looked alright. I think he looked quite lively. But I can't see him breaking into the first team. But I think as a player there that might have a bit of energy for a sub if they need and then they need a goal. I think I think he'll do quite lively. I think his decision making wasn't bad against Man City. And obviously, in the moment, it's completely different.
They do have a long way to go, though.
They do.
We'll move on to Arsenal because Arsenal
is that your fifth and sixth as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've got Arsenal sixth. Main thing with Arsenal, obviously, Wenger's gone. Unai Emery's in. They've done a lot in the transfer market. They've bought in Liechtenstein, Leno, Socrates, Torreira, and the other midfielder who I can't pronounce. I think Leno's probably going to walk straight in. Socrates would walk straight back in, but he's injured. Torreira's probably going to walk in.
Yeah. I think they'll be alright next year.
They'll be alright. I think they'll be better under Emery than they were under Wenger. Hopefully, got Aubameyang and Lacazette starting their full seasons as well.
Yeah, I think Lacazette. I quite like that. I'm not gonna lie. I know he gets quite a lot of stick, but I don't mind Lacazette. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't really get his goals. He didn't really do as well as people thought he would because he went for a lot of money, didn't he? It was 65 million.
I think one of them's going to play on the wing.
Yeah.
It just depends which one. I think Aubameyang's probably going to play up front.
Yeah.
He'll be the preferred man.
I think obviously that's a good player to have.
They've not really lost too many players that are a big part of their systems. Obviously, Jack Wilshere going, Mertesacker retiring, but I don't think they were two big losses for Arsenal. I think they are a good squad. I just don't think.
Just signed a new long-term contract, isn't he?
Yeah. I just don't think they're as advanced to challenge the top 5 at the minute. So. My 5th place is Spurs.
For goodness sake, I knew it was going to be that. When I said it wasn't Chelsea, I knew it was going to be Spurs.
Let me just find them. So, ins, 0. Outs, obviously, not much in that department as well. So, you're looking at the same sort of squad as last year. They're obviously looking to listen to offers reportedly for Alderweireld, who can't agree a contract, Danny Rose, Mustembele, and Spurs have a good squad. How much depth do they have is a different question.
Yeah.
I think if you look beyond the starting 11, there's not too much there. You're relying on Harry Kane.
He's already said as well, Pochettino, that they might. He's warned fans that there might not be any transfer action at all.
Yeah. Obviously, it's going to take some time to go into the stadium, which is probably why there is no transfer action. But I think it's finally catching up to Spurs. You know, a few years ago when we were saying, they've got to win something because this squad's going to fall apart, and slowly it's going. I think Harry Kane's going to get the goals.
I don't think he's going to. He can't have the same season every year, can he? Ali obviously faded a bit last year.
Poor World Cup.
Yeah, and didn't have a very good season last year, I don't think at all. Eriksen obviously good player, is him and Kane good enough just to guide them into top 4, guide them into title contenders? Possibly not. So but I think
so Spurs are your team. Just tell us how you feel at the minute.
How do I feel about Spurs?
No transfer activity.
I think I don't know, obviously I understand, but I sort of, because in a way I do kind of understand it, because Spurs is 11, there isn't really a lot you want to replace, really, is there? I think most players that they're going to bring in, I think they're going to know that they're not going to play very often. For instance, Lucas Moura came in and he hasn't really, and I thought that was a brilliant sign at the time, but he's barely got any first team football. I think obviously the only thing I suppose you could improve on is a left back. I think obviously Rhys, I can't. I know obviously he makes his mistakes, and you're not a bigger fan. You're not his biggest fan.
I don't rate Rhys.
No, but I still think he's a good goalie. I can't see him going out and getting a new one.
No.
I think obviously Trippier right back. I think if they bring any right back in, I think they know they're not going to play.
Trippier, the best right back in the league.
Definitely. Centre halves, obviously Vertonghen. You're not going to get
Sanchez.
You're not going to get much better. So I do kind of understand, because if you are going to bring players in, I think they're going to know their limit straight away. I think they're going to know they're not really going to they're going to have to be battling and not going to walk into the team easily. Whereas other teams, I know you can say about obviously people have their weak links in terms of Chelsea, obviously, or Everton for instance, centre half problems, and a striker could easily walk into their team, and then you get Chelsea, obviously I need to look obviously if Hazard's not going to be that interested this season, or he's going to go, or Williams going to go this summer, then they know they need a winger. Whereas Spurs, you sort of look at it and you sort of think is anyone really going to come in to replace Ali? Anyone going to come in to replace Eriksen? Because as I see it, they've got a very good 11, and it's difficult to persuade players, obviously unless you stick a few noughts on the end of their contracts, that they're going to break into the team. And
I think Spurs have always struggled with depth. Maybe that's the reason that they have a very good 11. But you look at strikers they've brought in to try and play back up to Kane, and it's all failed. And the depth they have, obviously got Harry Winks, people like that, Eric Dyer, but it is hard to convince them for depth. Have you got Spurs 4th or a 3rd?
Bottom 3rd.
You got Man United 4th.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get much. Obviously. Harry Winks isn't going to win you a league, is he? He's going to get you in a top 4 team. So it's very, I know it's very difficult at Spurs.
It linked to Jack Grealish.
Obviously that just sort of looks like a sort of player who's going to come on for Ali in 70 minutes, really, don't it? It doesn't really look like much more. And to be honest, that's what Spurs really bring in now, isn't it? Moira, he'll come on, Lamella's basically after his absence has been treated like a signing, and the fact that he's only really going to break in as a sort of substitution. Yeah. Because every game you can walk into Spurs and you know what the subs are going to be, because they've got a decent 11 and they've got a decent 3 players on the bench. And after that, it's a bit of a shame, because people know what when they go to Spurs, they probably aren't going to immediately break into the team. They know that they're not really there to fill any gaps. They know they're just there to build a squad. And is that what people want to go to the squad for? I don't really know. Surely they want to be a first team footballer rather than just a squad rotation system player, Yeah. But obviously if Pochettino can't offer that, then like it's quite difficult to tempt players in.
Well, I've got Chelsea fourth. We spoke about them quite a lot.
Yep.
So we'll skip over there. Man United, I've got third. You've got fourth, and you've got Spurs
fourth,
third.
yeah,
so we
Spurs
spoke about
third,
Spurs.
yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about Manchester United. Not had a good pre-season. Mourinho's not happy yet.
No, yeah, that's why. Yeah,
I
was torn between having Arsenal in top 4 actually, and then missing out in top 4.
Yeah.
But but then I kind of looked at the thing, and I think no matter what the pre-season is, they're always gonna, or no matter what Mourinho says, they've got a brilliant goalie. They've got a good defence. Like they're never going to let a lot of goals.
The way
in.
Mourinho
Pogba's
is
a
as
good
well,
player.
like he just gets results. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I know. Yeah,
and, like, that's why I've got him third.
Player, yeah,
I think
they're it's the individuals, isn't it? Like very good. Like Lukaku's always going to score goals. They could be battered one game, but I think he's always going to score goals.
I think their squad obviously got like Lukaku, Sanchez, Lingard going forward. You've got obviously Fred now. You've got Pogba, Matic, etc., etc. And then in defence, you've got obviously De Gea.
Yeah.
They've got Diego Dalot coming from Porto, probably going to play right back a little bit. Is Ashley Young going to play left back? Is Luke Shaw going to play left back? Eric Bailly's probably going to play centre back. Then you've got Phil Jones. They've bid for Harry Maguire. They're looking after Alderweireld. It's a good side. Mourinho gets results. It might not be pretty, but they get results. And I think they're going to grind out more than Chelsea and Spurs and Arsenal this season. That's why I've got them in third. So we've got the same top two. Do you have anything else to add on Manchester United?
Not really. Like I said, as bad as it is with Man United, they've got the individuals. Lukaku could easily put in a 4 out of 10 performance because he scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. Because I rate Lukaku. I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
But and obviously Sanchez works hard as a good player. And Lingard's sort of had a good World Cup. I think this is it. I think this has got to be a season. I think it will be a season this year. Rashford's young. He needs to sort of step up a bit because he isn't probably getting the game time that he
number
wants.
10.
Yeah. I think obviously hopefully that's not too much pressure on him. But I think Mourinho, I said before, I think he expects a bit more from Rashford. You can see on the touchline when he gets the ball, he does look quite frustrated in Rashford sometimes, and the fact that he wastes the ball. I remember I can't remember who it was against in the Premier League. He had a really good chance. I think they were losing, and he had the ball, and he tried to cut inside, and it was on a 1 on 2 or whatever, and it cut inside and shoot, and he had a good chance of scoring, but I think he tried to cut inside, or he should have passed the ball or something.
What about
he didn't?
What about the World Cup?
And he sort of looked a bit frustrated.
World Cup against Belgium when he missed that 1-on-1 as well in the group stage.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a funny one. Obviously. But at the same time, I remember a long time ago against Iceland. That time, he isn't scared.
Yeah,
he's gonna carry the ball forward. He's gonna
still quite raw.
He's gonna and that's something Man United need because they don't really stretch themselves that much. Really, do they? They sort of go for all the basic good players, whereas giving young players a bit of game time. So I think obviously I think it's got to be a season to shine, and I think Lingard's got to be a season to shine as well.
Yeah. So
I think they'll make top 4.
So, do you have Manchester City first?
I do.
Yeah, me too. So Liverpool second. We'll talk about Liverpool first. Leave our champions till later. So Liverpool have really been in the transfer market. Really, they sorted out their goalkeeper problem. Alisson's coming in for a massive world record fee. They sorted out their midfield. Fabinho and Keita obviously both coming in, and they've also got Shaqiri in for a little bit of depth. All had good pre-seasons. I think all of them, bar Shaqiri, probably get Liverpool's strongest side. I don't think Fabinho is going to start straight away. I think Klopp's spoken a little bit about him adapting to the league. Obviously up front, we know they've got arguably the best attack in Europe, Salah, Mane and Firmino. They've got Henderson there, a brilliant World Cup. They've got Fabinho and Keita there now. Really missing Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he's obviously going to miss the season. Wijnaldum, Lallana, Milner, good depth in midfield. At the back, they're going to play Robertson at left back, obviously. They're going to play Alisson in goal. We don't know what's happened with Karius yet, but he's history now. And then Trent Arnold's probably played right back. And at the minute, it looks like Van Dijk and Gomez are going to start the season as centre backs. Lovren only reporting back to Melwood this week, but Lovren and Van Dijk are probably going to play together when they're both fit.
Surprised they ain't gone in for Alderweireld actually.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Right.
They like Lovren
Van
there.
Dijk are very good. Yeah,
they like Lovren there. But
I mean, as bad as he is, he always puts his all in, doesn't he, Lovren? You can always tell he does try hard, but I don't think he's very good at all. But he always I think, and that's what some fans want really most of the time, isn't it? Just people who are going to try hard, like maybe don't know that, know they're not the best at their position, sort of thing. No, they're not the best player, but like he's never, and like he probably knows that like he has a lot of people who don't really like him as a player, but he never really shies away from not having a go. And I think that's what some fans admire really, especially Liverpool, because like they're sort of a loyalty, like a sort of club that like try hard, don't they?
No, I think Liverpool probably did need a centre back, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No.
They have defensive problems, but hopefully for them, like Cater and Fabinho sort that out. Henderson's being a bit more reliable in front of the defence now as well.
Yeah.
And they can score as many goals against any team. Obviously, they're raising a lot of money as well. They've obviously got the Coutinho money that's been spent now, assumingly. But like Danny Ward, Danny Ings, Divock Origi all going out for decent fees. Transfer business is good there, and I think they're definitely going to be the team closest to Manchester City to challenge. Fabinho wearing number 3, by the way, in midfield. That's very annoying. But we'll go on to Manchester City. Just the one guy in to note, Riyad Mahrez, £60 million out. Yaya Touré's been released. That's probably the only notable one that's going to affect the first team at this point. Manchester City, we saw them against Chelsea. They're a good side. I think they're going to run away with it. They've got that team. They've got 4 very good centre halves. They've got good fullbacks. The midfield is great. I think Guardiola said he does want another midfielder, probably to sort of give Fernandinho a bit of a push. Like De Bruyne, Silva, Bernardo Silva, Aguero, Jesus, Gundogan, Sane, Sterling, Mahrez.
There's not a lot better than that, is there?
It's a very, very good squad.
Even Bernardo Silva, like you didn't mention there, but like even like when he's called upon, he's looked quite good. I thought. Yeah. He's looked alright, and like I don't think we've got much game time, but still, like it's good to know that like your like 4th choice is still a good player. Yeah, and we know the football they play under Guardiola, and they will want to challenge in the Champions League this year. Really, that's the only thing you can sort of say. Sort of the only negative you can say about the Premier League, isn't it? That like they might sort of like focus on the Champions League. Not too much, but because you can't focus on it too much, can you? But like maybe get it off the table, and before they know it, Liverpool could be going to Man City, and then like it could be if Liverpool win. Like, they completely like close the gap completely. But I still think like they could easily go to like any team. I reckon they could easily like do the unbeatable this season. Like obviously last season it was only Liverpool one, wasn't it? I mean, like even that, like they were 4-1 down with like 5 minutes to go, weren't they? And they got like 2 hours back. But I mean, that one was a bit of a funny one because that was Salah's goal, wasn't it? When Edison like poorly cleared it and he chipped it in, didn't he? But I'm like, I think you're gonna get games like that, and I think but I don't think but I think Man City next season, I think they would tighten up defensively, and I think they're still just as strong as ever going forward. Yeah. Well,
Man City are our champions. Should we just go for our tables one last time before we finish it?
Go on then.
I'll go for mine first. So I've got first Manchester City, Liverpool 2nd, Manchester United 3rd, Chelsea 4th, Spurs and Arsenal 5th and 6th, making up Europe spots. Everton 7th, West Ham 8th, Wolves 9th, Leicester 10th, Fulham 11th, Southampton 12th, Burnley 13th, Bournemouth 14th, Newcastle 15th, Palace 16th, Brighton 17th, then going down Watford, Cardiff and Huddersfield.
I've gone with just finishing off with Manchester City to win the league again. I think the top 4 will be made up of Liverpool, Spurs and Man United. Arsenal and Chelsea will finish Europe, and then West Ham, Everton, Leicester, Newcastle to make up the top 10, and then I think 11th Palace, 12th Burnley, 13th Brighton, 14th Bournemouth, 15th Watford, 16th Southampton, 17th Wolves, 18th Fulham, 19th Huddersfield and 20th Cardiff.
So some very bold predictions either way there. We didn't do it last year, but we should look back on these at the end of the season. So,
we'll see how we did.
But let us know if you agree with any of our predictions. You can tell us how stupid we are, how great we are. Let us know in the comments or on Twitter. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next time. Remember to like, subscribe, follow from the description, comment if you want. Goodbye.
Up the Gills.
Up the Gills and the Fulham.
And the Spurs.